Anemia is a common illness that can have serious consequences, yet it gets diagnosed poorly, particularly in rural areas. Even when anemia is diagnosed correctly, results rarely provide sufficient detail for a health worker to confidently treat the ailment. By using a solution of copper sulphate, we can record the hemoglobin level of blood, which provides an accurate measure of anemia. The method is cheap and requires minimal equipment. It is appropriate for rural areas that do not have power. And it provides immediate results that can be read by a patient. The test requires 3 packets containing 3 different weights of copper sulphate powder, 3 40 ml containers, a measuring cylinder, spirit swabs, sterile lancets, and gloves. Begin by measuring 40 ml of clean water into each of the 3 40 ml containers. Dissolve each of the packets of copper sulphate powder into a container of water to create solutions at 3 different densities, mixing to ensure the powder has dissolved completely. Wearing gloves, clean the patient's finger with a cotton swab soaked in spirit. Prick the tip of the finger with the sterile lancet. The prick should be deep enough to allow blood to flow freely. If the prick is not deep enough, do not squeeze the fingertip to bring out blood. Instead, make a fresh and deeper prick. Bring the patient's finger to the heaviest of the copper sulphate solutions. Allow a drop of blood to fall into the container. If the drop of blood sinks, the patient is not anemic. If the drop of blood floats, move on to the next container. Using this method, we can determine if a patient is anemic, and if the patient is anemic, we can measure the severity of their anemia. For example, if the blood floats in all of the copper sulphate solutions, including the least dense, then the patient has a hemoglobin level of less than 6 grams per deciliter. As hemoglobin levels are a measure of anemia, so anemia can be measured by this simple method.